Okay, this is really weird. but now you should see my face. Technical issues with streaming. I'm getting better at it though. I think I have like a little setup here to get everything going. But yeah, anyways, you saw the thumbnail. You know what's up. These two thumbnails, man, they really like hit me emotionally, and I just wanted to talk about them a little bit. So yeah, I think let's just jump right into it. I don't know if this is working. It is so weird. If this is on a delay, am I behind? Okay, okay, I'm all caught up. There we go. Cool. There we go. I'll get better at streaming. I'll promise. Um, cool. Yeah, but let's jump right into it, I would say. And I'm not sure that the transitions are working. Okay, sorry. I set up some hotkeys, but the hotkey isn't working for the transitions. But now you should see my Photoshop. Okay, there we go. Maybe? Do you see Photoshop? Okay. Okay, this is so weird because I have on another screen, I have YouTube open and this is just super delayed. Okay, now let's get into it. Sorry for the delay. Maybe that gives some people time to catch up. Yeah, so basically, chat and everything is like super delayed, I guess. That is fascinating. All right, cool. Matt Diavella, no, not Matt Diavella. What am I talking about? Nathaniel Drew and then Film Booth both made a thumbnail that was just, I don't know, out of this world. That really, both of them really like stopped me in my tracks, and I was doing something completely different, right? And I saw these images, and in particular Nathaniel's, right? And I just like I had to stop what I was doing and like watch this video right now. So it did exactly what it's supposed to do. It created like a really strong emotional reaction in me that made me want to watch this video. And so packaging is like really important, right? When it comes to YouTube and getting people to click on your videos. I'm just gonna grab my notes real quick. And so I'm trying to figure out how to get better at that aspect of it. I just had a call earlier with another creator, and he was saying, your thumbnails are really good, but they feel super corporate. I'm like, yeah, I can understand that feedback, and something definitely I'll be looking into. And I think those two pictures really like just hit the nail on the head on like capturing on that human aspect, on that like need to watch this right now. So it also made me realize how powerful an image can be, right? Because normally you just open YouTube and you kind of just click and jump in there and watch whatever is there. But these two in particular just changed what I was doing in general. I would just wanted to put on music, but then I ended up watching a video. All right. So why did they create this reaction in me, right? They both feature one creator that I really admire and who I would call a parasocial mentor. So that's somebody I've learned from a lot and that I have a very strong positive connection to. They've been teacher to me. I've learned from them, and I think that they're genuine people trying to improve other people's life. But then both of these images, I'm gonna do this here. Yeah, so we can see them next to each other. What both of them do is like take this expectation I have of these people and flip them on its head. Nathaniel made like Matt D'Avella look like a freaking villain from like Narcos or something. And Ed from Film Booth made Chris Dole look like an ominous Bond villain or something like that. Like there's some real mindfuckery going on here. And that is the first thing that I noticed for myself. Like, why did they create this powerful reaction in there? And I'm just going to go in order because... So I watched Nathaniel's. That came out like a little bit more than a week ago. And this one really got me. So not only did I have this like reaction of I need to watch this, I was like yelling at the screen. I was saying, fuck you, Nathaniel. Because not only this image, right? But, and I'm pretty sure he changed the title. I'm pretty sure it said something like, I hate Matt D'Avella. Like, I think it was a stronger title. But I was like, what are you going to tell me that this title and thumbnail is justified? What opinion do you have of Matt? Like, he has a really, really big part. He plays a really big part in my creator journey with Slow Growth and the course that he put out. So I was on edge to see what Nathaniel's opinion is here. Spoiler alert, they're on great terms now and they had a laugh together. And basically what this video is Nathaniel talking how he was compared to Matt a lot and being like, oh, you don't knock off Matt D'Avella. And I can see how that affects you and how this frustrates you. And so he plays with that, right? They're almost the same size. They're like, their eye lines, which is important, are on the same level. And Matt is leaning in. He is like, he made this like friendly, approachable face into a villain. He leans forward. He's like, I could talk to him right now. And Nathaniel stands there like really standoffish and like stares right at you with this like commanding presence, really standoffish. And so there is this comparison happening, right? And you know, you gotta have an arrow, but then there's this line which is super smooth. It could be a bright yellow bar, or even it could be a white bar, right? Oop, there we go. There we go, yeah. Right? It could be that. But this like subtlety of just like this really thin line with this glow is it stands out. It like makes it a little bit more classy than most of YouTube. And it also is super in line with his channel. He actually used this before in at least one thumbnail. I don't think he did use the glow on this one, but that is becoming a theme, right, in his videos. And I think he realized that like, oh, using this like split screen of a face and something else is really working for him. So I think that's how he continues to use that. Anything happening in chat? Not really. Okay, cool. If you have any questions or any opinions, please feel free to throw them in the chat. And yeah, I think the main two draws of this image is this like villainizing of Matt and his like really strong expressions. he really nailed this like standoffish, who the hell do you think you are kind of expression. And that's what I think this thumbnail is like so good. But then just a couple of days later, I see this. And that is YouTube millionaire reveals money-making secrets. Like if that doesn't sound like a scam, right? But Chris Do is really on a mission to help creatives live a profitable life. I've learned a lot from him and from the future in general. And while he is definitely a person who is controversial is too strong of a word, but it's not everybody's jam, the way he teaches and the way he talks. But he's definitely on the side of helping people. And so this image was just like, ooh, there's some saucy bit. Maybe he knows something about Chris Do that I don't. And so, yeah, obviously that made me watch. And what's really interesting about this, and if you are somewhat familiar with Film Booth, is that he's talking about YouTube and the meta of YouTube and teaching people how to make better YouTube videos. And in some recent video, he was talking about power people and power words. And with this image, he really cashed in on power people. Like he takes this photo of Chris Do, which I assume it doesn't exist in color, not publicly. I tried to look for it. And he is also using another element that is really working for him, and that is graphs in the background. You can see that here, right? Like every other image has graphs. So you see there's these like repeating patterns that work for some channels. And once you figure out what works for you, you keep going with that. So that's really fascinating. But he uses it in a much more subtle way, not like the actual analytics graph, but just a sort of a trend line in the back. And implying that he's growing millions, that he's making millions with his business. And let me show you real quick what the power of black and white is, because this could have easily been in color, right? But does it have the same presence? Does it have the same like ominous quality? I don't think so. I think actually by being in black and white, it creates much more tension that draws you in. And again, it has this like direct stare at camera that kind of forces you to have an opinion. That kind of really draws you in. You want to see what is behind this gaze. And then lastly, you have a 3D element, right? You have this text that is behind the head, which creates some sort of perspective. And that's another very common thing to do to create a more engaging thumbnail. Yeah, so both of them are in line with the respective channel aesthetic and have a very commanding stare. Like you can see it in this, right? You have these like looks at camera. I mean, Charlie Marie is like super friendly and approachable, like, hey, hang out with me, right? Marquez is like, hey, what's up? But like then this is just like, hey, you gotta watch this. You want to hear this. And I think it's very similar to this. Like, I think the closest comparison to this image that has a similar power is Matt's thumbnail up here, where it's like, oh shit, I just read something that could change your life. I think a lot less so, maybe because I've seen it 1,000 times, the shower one, because yes, that's surprising. And this is like like, oh, guy looking at camera, fine. But out of all of these images, this one is just like, hello, what are you doing? You need to listen to me right now. Like, I think they're trying to do that down here, but it's not nearly as strong. Yeah. So those are my thoughts on these two images. And I don't know. I kind of enjoy breaking them down. I definitely learned a lot from breaking them down and analyzing them more. There you go. But I'd really like to know, is this totally my own experience? Like, am I only reacting to them and like over analyzing them because I know these people and because they're flipping the image I have of them on their head? Or are they genuinely great thumbnails? I would like to know. Let me try the transitions again. Nope, not happening. I thought it was so cool. Okay, here we are. Back to camera. So this was kind of my little rant. Maybe I went through it a little bit too fast. I thought that might take a little bit longer. But, oh, there we go. So Florin asks if I asked the respective creators about their intention behind it. No, I did not. I did not bother to reach out to them about any of it. I just messaged Ed from Film Booth being like, hey, by the way, I'm doing a stream talking about your thumbnail. Would be fun if you join. But no, this was kind of like a little bit impulsive, I would say, and didn't jump that far ahead. Yes, right, Sam. Yes, there's gonna be drama, right? That's exactly right. There's gonna be some tension in there. Totally. Okay, so I'm not way off base here. That is good to know. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if you have any more questions in the chat, feel free to throw them at me. Otherwise, this was another much shorter thumbnail stream, but I think a little bit more successful. Still got to work out my technical situation here with transitions and OBS and whatnot. But this is fun. I really like doing that. So yeah, stay tuned for a little bit more. And yeah, with that, enjoy your evening, your day, your morning, wherever you are. And I'll see you in the future. Dun-dun-dun.